Hi everyone, it's April with Hair 101 and I'm here today to show you how to do baby lights. This is the funnest new trend from Redken. Baby lights, the term comes from Tracy Cunningham, Redken stylist. She is amazing. I got the chance to meet her at the Redken symposium and she is the sweetest person. But let me just tell you, I love everything she does. I love the natural look and this is going to be really fun. So she wants to go a little bit more blonde, but a natural look also, and she's moving somewhere fun and sunny. So we have to make her look like a little bit more blonde and sunny. But we are going to do, it's really just like a fine microweave, and I'm just gonna kind of show you the technique as I go. So I'm using the Blonde Idol Blue Oil Lightning System with a 20 volume and 2 packets. You can choose to use either 1 or 2 depending on the amount of liftability you want, and I want the maximum amount of lift. And I also am going to put a little bit of OLAPLEX in there. I'm going to do an 1/8 of an ounce of the OLAPLEX in there, just because if there is a little bit of overlapping from the microweaving, and because she also does have previous color on her ends, and so I want to make sure that it's conditioning enough and really gentle on her hair. So we're going to use OLAPLEX too. We are going to turn her hair blue. I'm just kidding. It's really not going to be blue, but it looks like it will be. It makes me a little scared. No, really, you guys, you shouldn't be scared if this is blue. I'm going to tell you why. Because this is going to counteract any gold or orange underlying tones, and there will be some because she has some artificial color on here. So this is good. This is going to help you have a cooled blonde and not a bright orange blonde. So here we go. She's a natural level 6, or yeah, I'd say level 6. She's a dark blonde, and now she's going to be a lighter blonde. Here we go. So to start, we're going to section her off, and it looks like you part pretty much right there, right close to the middle. So here's a good rule of thumb as far as how thick your sections should be. If you take your fingers and just spread them out, that's about how wide you should be able to work with. And that's a good amount for the top of the head anyway, because if you go any bigger than that, you're going to start going off of the side of the head where it rolls. And that's not fun, trying to get the foil to roll with the head. It's tricky business, so just use that as a guideline. If you're super flexible, then maybe don't try to strain your fingers so hard, because you don't want it too big. Okay, so I have her mohawk section parted off here. And then we have these side sections and then the back here. So I'm going to start in the back right here, and then we're going to go from here over to the top. And then on the front, I'm going to do some vertical slices this way and concentrate a little bit more lightness around her face and then taper it off towards the back to a little bit less, because that's a really natural way that the hair is lightened. Usually it's a little bit lighter around the face and then on top of the head, and it falls over a little bit darker hair. So I think that's pretty to keep it natural looking. And I'm going to go ahead and just take a section in the back here, and you can see that this is all pretty much brown from before, but she does want to be a little bit lighter. So I'm going to take just like an inch or 2 below where she used to have her highlights, and I'm going to start there. So the first section, and I like to start from the bottom and then let the hair down on top of the foil, so I'm not lifting foils up and moving them around. The section's not terribly thick, a little less than 1/4 of an inch there. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your comb up here and you're just gonna take out these teeny little baby pieces of hair. It's like micro weaving, and we missed a few little spots right there. There we go. So it's not a ton of hair. You can see it's pretty baby fine pieces, and if they're a little bit too big, you can take some out. Over here it got a little cray, there you go. And then you're just going to get your foil, slide it in, and you can see like there's going to be these really soft little baby highlights, but there's going to be a lot of them, so it's going to kind of just lighten her overall hair up really nicely. And I always make sure that the color is nice and saturated. You don't want any spots that are dry, because you'll get spotty color. And I never squish that line really tight because we don't want to create a line that's so tight on the foil that it pushes the color away from the hair. So I'd rather have a little bit soft looking bunchy bags than these really tight, perfect little folded things, because I want the color to be smooth and fluid. I don't want to have lines or polka dots. So taking down another section and doing the exact same thing. And it's really easy if there isn't any highlights in the hair to avoid, because you're just making the pattern up yourself. I'll show you once we get to the sides and the top what to do if you pull out something that's already light. But for now, this is what we're doing. And this does take a long time, but it's worth it. It's really pretty. You can also do this with several different colors. You could do a highlight and then a low light, and you could even do like a red color in there. And I've done that before. It's really pretty because they all just kind of melt together. It almost looks like a solid color with just tons and tons of dimension in it. It's really fun. Okay, so I'm going to show you a little section here that has some highlights in it. So you can see there's some, like the gold highlights, they're really pretty, and I don't think I really want to change those a ton. I'm kind of working around them on her hair color because I want to have a couple different tones of blonde. I'm hoping that I'll have a cool blonde, and then we'll still have this kind of golden blonde mesh in there, and then we'll also have a little bit of her natural left. So I'm just kind of taking the Baby Lights. I'm being a little bit more selective over here. And so then it will lighten this up a little bit more, but I'll still have, and I'm going to do a base breaker so that will help out. You see how we'll have the roots and then the light. The base breaker is going to go in. I'm using the Cool Blonde Idol base breaker, and I'll do it on just like the last part of her color. I'll just go through and paint it on all of the leftover ends like a paint between with a base breaker. And it's going to just pop these up just enough to blend it into this little bit of a gold. And that's kind of the look we're going for. So she will have a few different colors of blonde in here and a little bit of her natural still, but it will be broken up with that base breaker. So there you go. If her highlights were really, really light, like my color, if I had hair like this and her highlights, I would not lay any more bleach over them. They are already as light as they need to be. If you lay bleach over them, they're going to break. So since she still has some gold in there, I know that it still hasn't been completely bleached out all the way, so it's okay. And I'm also using OLAPLEX, but you guys understand that there is no reason to ever lay bleach over hair that is platinum or super like pale yellow, white blonde. There's just no reason. You're just compromising the integrity of the hair. Bottom line, simply just sweep it aside and brush the color around it and leave them out. I've done it to one piece over here somewhere here because I just didn't want to put it on that piece. But there you go. That's my little tip. Okay, you guys, you might have noticed that I've switched to the front now because once I hit the top of the roll of her head right here, they have to start going like this in order for me to see what I'm doing to get all the way up here. And when I'm getting my hair done, my neck is killing me from holding my head up like this, and usually foils are heavier. So I always, once I get here, I just switch to the side of their head on their right side, and then I just start doing sections forward. And that way they don't have to like hold their neck up really hard. And it's fine for me too, because I don't have to like look up and reach over them and hold my shoulders up so high. I feel like it's just a better angle. So that's what I do. It's helpful to me. So hopefully that helps you out too. Okay, so now we're doing this diagonal back section. And same thing, I'm just gonna pull, and I'm leaving this red around her face out. because I don't want to have any like lines if she does ponytails, and the base breaker will take care of that too, so it'll be okay. Just a few fine pieces around her face. And I always lift this little flap up underneath just to help lock in the colors so there's no bleeders. I've always done that. It's a really good habit to get into. It might be a little bit tricky to switch if you're not doing it like that, but once you get used to it, you'll love it. So after I've done 3 foils diagonal back in this front section here, I'm going to start leaving a little bit thicker section out of her hair, and then just doing the baby lights kind of every other section so that it gets a little bit darker towards the back of her hair. So this can process up to 50 minutes, but this has already been processing 50 minutes, but I'm still going to start the timer from now, and I'm going to check the side that we ended on in 20 minutes, because if it's light enough over there, then I can rinse all of it. If it needs a little bit more time, I'll give it a little bit more time, of course. You're not supposed to use heat with this. Sometimes with other lighteners, I have like blow dried just the one last section that I ended on to help kind of catch it up. But I'm not going to do that because the manufacturer said not to. And yes, sometimes you can break the rules, but I'm going to try without this time just to kind of see how it goes. Also, I'm going to be using the base breaker the last 10 minutes of the process, and I'm just going to be doing that on the parts that I foiled. I'm not going to put the base breaker underneath here because it's pretty much all of her natural anyway, and I don't want to mess with it. It can be darker underneath. That's how it naturally would have been anyway. So I'm going to just paint between really quickly on the base breaker through all the foils and process for 10 minutes, and then we'll just rinse all of her out at the same time. So I probably will have to tone her, and I will assess that situation once I rinse, because it's always nice to kind of, sometimes just the Blonde Idol conditioner can take care of the tone, but I will just have to figure it out, because you can't really know what toner you're going to use until you're rinsing anyway, because you don't really know what undertone you're trying to get rid of for the most part. Like I said, she has some previous color on her ends, so they might be a little bit darker than her natural regrowth. So that's where I would probably need to like brighten them up a little bit with the toner, but I'll let you know when we're at that point. Really quick, I have 10 minutes left before I need to rinse her. I mixed up the blue base breaker, and I just did it in this little cup because I'm trying to be quick. And I'm just gonna go through here and just kind of blob it on her regrowth and flip and regrowth. And just very quickly do the base breaker. This just makes it look so much more finished, you guys. It's worth a little bit more product, a little bit more work. And yeah, you charge for it. You tell them, this is the look that we're gonna achieve. This is what it's gonna cost. We have to do this base breaker. It costs $10, $15, $20 more, whatever you charge. And you process it for the last 10 minutes, and then you can rinse it off. You can also do this first if you want to just kind of break up all the roots before you do the color service. Or you can also do this as an in-between service if someone comes in and they just have that really harsh line on their head and they don't really want a full retouch on their highlights, it just kind of breaks it up a little bit and gives them more time with their, it gives them more time before they would have to color their hair, so it's nice. You also want to make sure that you go between the foils here and make sure you get all the roots there. You don't want to have any dark spots that didn't get lifted up a little bit where you've been foiling. And around the face. Very important to remember around the face and in these part lines, you guys. You don't want to forget those. They're important. They matter. And they're easy to forget sometimes. And you can be really fast with this. It's not a scary thing. It lifts on tone. It has a little bit of a cool base to it. This is the cool. They have two different base breakers. One's just a clear, and that will give you more of like a warm sun-kissed look. And this is a cool, and this will give you more of like a natural on-tone lift. One level of lift in 10 minutes. It's pretty amazing. And it does not look brassy. It looks really natural and pretty. And there's no harsh line, so you don't have to be really afraid of where you're getting this on. It's something that's meant to just be fast. And this is a call to paint between. I'm just kind of painting between the foils. Because obviously I don't need to do a base breaker on the highlights that are right to her scalp. But it will get those little bits that are still not colored, so it kind of melts it in just a little bit closer too. It's like this beautiful world that exists between an all-over color and a highlight. It's like the in-between. It's a wonderful place. Okay. And I used this on myself before I used it on someone else because I wanted to make sure it didn't turn like bright orange or anything. Because I was a little skeptical, but no, it does, it works. It's really pretty, it's great for blondes. You can even use it on brunettes if you want to just kind of brighten up them a little bit. You can use this with 20 volume if you want it to pop a little bit more, but it still will give you like, it's like a little bit more than a level of lift. I don't think it's a full 2 levels, but it's just a little bit faster and stronger on that lift. All right, I think it's on. So timer for 10 minutes. Okay, we are just rinsing her out. I'm not going to shampoo yet because we used OLAPLEX. I'm going to be doing the number 2 treatment for 10 minutes on her before we shampoo it. And then I'm using this Alterna Bamboo Volume Shampoo. It claims, here we go, to increase the volume in the hair by 105%. Well, at least this 24 or 48-hour sustainable volume spray does. So I'm going to use the shampoo, conditioner, and the volume spray in her hair, and we're going to see how good it works. But I'm excited. It smells really good. So, and I love Alterna stuff. That's always good. I like to use a lot of the number 2 because it just makes the hair feel so good. Here's the Alterna. This is kind of a fun, like you twist it off and on and then you squish it and it like this outy belly button thing comes out. It's kind of fun. Anyway, it smells really good. And I'm really excited because the blue in the lightener toned the hair enough to where I don't even feel like it needs a toner at all. So I'm not going to tone her hair. And I think it's going to be fine without it. So there you go. And which I'm actually kind of glad about because I was worried that the toner would kind of get rid of some of those gold highlights that she had from before that I was trying to have the cool highlights and the gold. Sorry to squirt you. I was kind of trying to have the 2 different tones of highlights in there anyway, so I'm glad that the toner won't pull any of that effect away. So this is the Alterna conditioner, the Bamboo Volume. the Abundant Volume Conditioner. And this is all free of parabens and no phosphates or synthetic color. And it doesn't have any sodium chloride. It's totally sulfate free. The shampoo is sulfate free. So it's good. It's good stuff. And it smells really nice. I love how this blends. It's so pretty. Look how pretty that is. All right, you guys, here is the end result of our baby lights. We also did her haircut. If you want to see that video, it's in a different video. I split it up into two to save on some time. But yes, if it's not out yet, it'll be the next week. I usually do them back to back. So here's the end result. It's such a pretty natural soft blonde and I love it. And if you look really, like it almost looks like an all over color with just a few little pieces here and there that are lighter. But if you look really close, there's actually just her natural and that darker caramely highlight and the lighter one all mixed in. So it just blends really, really pretty. So this is the end result. I'm gonna give her a spin around. I hope you guys like it and I hope you guys give it a try. Let me know if you have already been doing baby lights or if you have just tried it for the first time. I have to admit that I was always a big chunker when I would weave because I just like to see the pieces. But this is so pretty. This is the trend right now to have these really pretty melty blondes that complement each other and just kind of blend in to make this natural looking highlight. So I hope you guys like it and we will see you guys later. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and comment below. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and if you download the Periscope app, you can see me doing live haircuts and colors and all the other crazy stuff in my life. And if you really like my crazy life, go check out April's life. We'll put a link below and we will see you guys later. Now we have outlined that entire black section with the brown and we get to switch over to the black color again. See, isn't this fun? It's a little bit faster than a traditional weave.